did you think? I would say, ooh, at this moment.
Was that a burp?
It was a little burp interlude.
Little burpaloo.
What's going on? What's going on with you?
Oh man, Kool and the Gang. Two Bros Podcast, episode 47.
Not having a reunion tour, I think.
Kool and the Gang?
Yes. I thought I saw something like on a, I don't know, like on a...
I don't know any of the guys, Kool and the Gang, except for, was JT? Or was it...
Yeah. The front guy.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean...
They could live right next door.
Yeah,
we wouldn't know.
Yeah, they all seem like they seem cool. Like, I mean, Kool and the Gang.
Right.
The hits are numerous.
Yeah, they have a string of hits.
But I don't know any of the. I mean,
any of them.
Yeah.
So if they showed up to something, we wouldn't. Like, who is this dude in the way?
Well, that's like cool. Like the Five Heartbeats, right? Like the story of the Five Heartbeats. Obviously, was just a movie, but they all had. You had a personality. You had Eddie Kane. You had Preacher, Quiet Boy. I wonder if Kool and the Gang has that much personality.
You would think on some level, yes.
I mean, they traveled the world. I mean, they've done tours. They've done all kinds of crazy shows and stuff. So I would imagine very much
think
so.
They got something.
Sure.
You know, somebody drinks too much. Somebody
one
always
of them
touches the ladies. Right. Some of them, they always seem to find guys in their bed. And just everybody's got their own little quirks. One of them eats too much. One of them is a great cook. The other one reads a lot. The other, just everybody has their own little.
Yeah. I would think so. I would think they would have some quirky issues internally that they...
One's quiet. One keeps getting divorced.
Yeah. One slept with this one's wife.
Right. They all do the triangle and whatnot.
It's literally the Five Heartbeats story.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nothing but love for you, baby.
Great movie.
Great movie, yes.
Yes, indeed.
Robert Townsend. He had a couple good movies. He had a couple great movies.
So I hear Robert Townsend is like him and... what's the other guy? Keenan Ivory.
Keenan Ivory Wayans?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were like... big time Black Hollywood, like all Black Hollywood stuff ran through them. Like everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
so. If you were black and wanted something, you had to go through Keenan Ivory Wayans or
and they were bullies too.
Really?
I mean, I heard this on a documentary. I don't know which one, but I heard a documentary that they were like super bullies on what you could say, your content, and all this other stuff. And they were like, and I think he did the Keenan Ivory was the guy that did the nigger thing. Try to trademark nigger or
try to trademark the word nigger?
Yeah, something like that. Or some derogatory term he tried to trademark and was like, shit, if they're gonna do it in every movie, he should get points for it. You know what I'm saying?
He should.
But he was going to donate it to some research and some stuff in colleges.
But whatever. It still shouldn't be at the behest of like it shouldn't be one person's decision.
True. True.
It's like that chick that said that she wanted to buy Twitter.
Yeah. Okay. I am back.
So Keenan Ivory Wayans wanted to own the word nigger.
Yeah, I got to look that up. I'm not 100% sure, but wow, your fabric softener thing really worked.
Is it helping? Does it help?
Doesn't it?
It seems like it. Yeah. No.
I'm catching like signals.
Nice.
That I've never heard before.
Yeah, it takes away some of the
good trick. So we just did a hack, and if you ever have static from Plastic Table, Brother John suggested that you take a fabric softener sheet, wipe your electronics down, gets rid of that static coming from an IT professional. Fuck your shit up.
Professional is professional.
So I just remember this as maybe an old folktale or whatever. But
that's sad to hear. I mean, I hope that's not true. That they were like bullies in producing and stuff like that.
I heard that Robert Townsend was pretty tough.
Kind of shameful. Well, I mean, tough or bully?
Okay, so that's what it was. So what I understand and what I remember hearing, that Robert Townsend was super tough on the craft. Like he wanted to make sure you didn't just jump in this and got lucky and took, like, he didn't like neighborhood comics, like guys that were just funny from the corner.
Okay.
Because he thought they didn't put the work in.
Okay.
So when you have so the hood saw that, yo, you hating, man, Dave, 40-ounce Dave is funny, put him on. No,
Okay.
you know, it was like,
Okay.
no, go to art school, go to,
Okay.
you know, so he was I guess a student of the craft
Okay.
and really wanted to make sure that people put the work in, but didn't know what I guess what the kids in the hood were saying.
But now, at the same time, couldn't he have been that doorway for somebody who was extremely talented but had no sense of craft to say, "Hey,
This is what you gotta do.
let me take you on."
Let me put you in my school.
Right. I'll you know, and then we can learn, because like doing, like, you know, being a comedian, people think being a comedian is just being funny, and no,
Right.
that's not that's like the baseline of it.
When
But
the joke wears off, what do you do?
exactly, there's a whole other
Yeah.
string of shit you got to do, and how you time it, and your use of words, and
Use of time
you're
in
connecting things back and forth and stuff like that. I mean, he could have been 40 ounce Dave. He could have said, "Hey, 40 ounce Dave, I tell you what, why don't you
Stick around.
with me, stick around with me for a little bit.
Come
and
on the road.
I'll show you how to construct something, blah 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 blah." And after a certain amount of time, we'll see, you know, how your thing develops.
Well, that's kind of what Kevin Hart does, you know, with his Plastic Cup crew, and you know, you see Little Rel and his success, and
Yeah.
you know, we talked about him before, and that he just put guys on, but just gave him a platform, and then told them, like, listen, this is how I did it, but you probably could do it better.
A platform and some guidance,
and some guidance, yeah,
Right.
yeah. So that's
and
dope.
a little check behind it, just a little, so that you you know, so that you can pay a bill,
Yeah.
here and there,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Or just get in the game. I mean,
Right.
you know, just get in the game. So speaking of Little Rel and movies, have you caught on to the Bird Box phenomenon?
No, I haven't. My wife
Okay.
asked me about something about that, and she's apparently, like, it broke the internet or whatever. I have no idea what the hell this is.
Okay, so I've investigated this because I am a movie buff myself, and it is a Netflix movie, which is, you know, easy to do, right?
A Netflix movie
it's
called
on-
Bird Box.
Yes,
Okay.
stars Sandra Bullock,
Okay.
John Malkovich,
Okay.
Little Rel, and a couple of other scramblers that
Okay.
you may or may not know. I didn't know them, but those were the three characters that I. Oh, and the black guy from Moonlight. You see Moonlight?
Yeah.
When he played the older version, the gangbanging guy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know, homo thug
Right.
guy.
Right.
Him.
Okay.
And he actually gets to take down Sandra Bullock. So
What does that mean? Take down Sandra
he
Bullock?
knocked her down and gave her some Moonlight. Gave her a little.
You talking in code? What the hell are you talking about? What
He
are
forgot you're not from the street.
you...
Fucking guy left a long time ago. He fucked Sandra Bullock.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm not a Sandra Bullock fan. That's why. Because
No, I'm not a Sandra Bullock
I
fan.
really hate her. She's the female version of Keanu Reeves to me. Like the what? What did I just do?
I kind of like Keanu Reeves more, though. I kind of,
Ah.
because I've you know, he.
Yeah. All right.
I think
Matrix.
first of all, I don't know either one of them, so I can't attest to what type of people they are.
Well, we're only speaking of them in.
But it seems
in
like
this-
Keanu Reeves is more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, he seems to not take himself so seriously.
Keanu Reeves doesn't think he's Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Maybe, you know, and Sandra Bullock comes off like she thinks
she's
she's
Sandra
Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. Not to a lot of people, but
Yeah.
but it does make a lot of sense.
And that's how they come off. So I mean, that's you know, that's just me. But like, I'm not a big Sandra Bullock fan. So anyway,
Yeah.
Mr. Moonlight got to fuck Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's equality.
Equality, yes. But what I don't understand is that, first of all, this is a movie about, and spoiler alert, too late, it's been out, it's already been exploded, okay? This is a movie about a time where apocalyptic things are going on, right? And so that the world is, you know, some creature, some evil spirit is looming,
Okay.
and if you see it, you open your eyes and you look at it, kind of like The Ring or any other fucking.
It's the first thing I thought of when you said that.
Right. If you look at it,
You're dead.
you become a zombie and you go, oh, you should look at it too. I think I want to kill myself. You know, It drives you crazy. So this is not the first time we've seen this, like Quiet Place or The Fog,
and
or all these crazy movies that have this end of the world, you know, but there's a place that you can go where it's safe, and if you could just make it there. This is the journey of Bird Box. She has to blindfoldly to the safe place, which is a guy on a walkie-talkie saying, "Oh, if you can make it to us, we're safe. We have, you know."
So you have to have faith.
You have to have faith. Okay. So see, it's blind, walking by faith, not by sight. Okay. The whole story is surrounded somewhat of this. You know, everybody has a theory about it. So Little Rel plays. He kind of typecasts himself in that same Little Rel character from Get Out. Almost, he's almost the exact same guy. He was like, because I looked at it on the internet. That's where you find shit. You know, like
so bumbling, but he's a little bit more in tune to what's going on than we give him credit for.
Right, but he does the hood aha, like, see, you know what I'm saying? They're all not thinking about it. Like, just put two and two together. It's fucking sex slaves, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he does the same kind of character from the. I'm not mad at how he played it, and then obviously it's like the Dawn of the Dead or Day of the Living Dead, where they're you should see the light, you should come, and the Sleestaks are coming. Yeah. So you have to blindly make yourself way to the supermarket.
Did you see the movie?
I watched it. I watched the entire thing twice, just to make sure.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll watch it. I usually watch it on my phone going into the city. It takes me half of it going and half of it coming back. Okay. Right? And it was a slow week, so I kind of watched it in the office. Okay. You know, big screen. Everybody was like, "What are you watching?" And fuck you, I'm watching Bird Box.
Bird Box.
But I'm more curious of how the internet, and what you said, your wife said it broke the internet or it did all this kind of crazy stuff. I'm curious to know how it became a phenomenon like this. It was the most tweeted. It was the most fucking memed. It garnered all of these new attention. Accolades, which are false, you know, shallow accolades, right? These digital most tweeted. Who gives a fuck? Oh yeah, you know, you forwarded and retweeted.
Right, exactly.
Like that's a stat now. Like, it's the most retweeted.
Right, the most retweeted. The most retweeted with comments. The most retweeted.
Right.
The most.
Come on, man. This is bullshit. We've just put too much currency in Twitter. Right. It's just way too over. It's inflated.
That I agree with. Yes.
That's
we put too much currency in it. Right.
Yeah, it's too much. So it goes on and on to the point of she blindfoldedly makes her way to this up the river and whatever else, and she actually has a baby during the way, and it's weird. The time frame doesn't match, and there's a lot of, you could point out all the things wrong with it. Okay, but then you look at the things that are right with it, where it just literally has the essence of just some survival, some. We got to work together, and we have to have faith, and and the impression of the kids, because they birthed these kids in this time, during they were pregnant when the thing was happening.
So you were born in chaos, and the attempt is to get you placed so you can have order for your kids.
So the girl was named Girl, and the boy was named Boy. You know what I'm saying? Hey boy, hey girl, yeah, whatever. And one of them wasn't hers. Only one was hers. Okay. The other lady killed because she saw the lightning and she took the kid from her, whatever. Okay. Spoiler, all right. So they go on and on about just getting to this place, and finally they get to the safe place, and it's a school of the blind. Like, duh, they figured it out. Like, we can't see anyway. So they were sitting there.
So they were the safe ones.
They were the safe ones, all the blind people, because they couldn't see. So it kind of...
So they didn't rely on their sight. They didn't rely on their senses. They just strictly relied on their faith.
Correct. And it gives that little notion of... It sends a lot of messages, I will say that. And I'm still just not sure how it became a web phenomenon. I saw tweets about, this is how strippers are after they watch Bird Box, and they showed a chick blindfold getting her money off the ground. They had all these memes about, this is when you after you watch Bird Box and you go to work, and they show the guy walking, blind, and it's just crazy how things catch fire.
It just caught right.
It just caught fire. But it's shallow how. It's over. Like, the movie's over. What next now? What's the next? So now, all these media metrics are sitting there going, how do we do another Bird Box? How do we do that? How do we do it on command, on demand? And I'll tell you, man, it's pretty sad how everyone got swept up into this thing. And if you look at the time, if you look at the feeds and the Twitter feeds and the Facebook pages and all this stuff, look how much time was wasted for nothing. Like just
for a movie.
For a movie that normally people know. Hey, did you see it? Yeah, it was cool. It was great. You know, fine. Go off and see it. Yeah.
But you actually spent time
made memes, created things, put Sandra Bullock's head on something else. Dude, it's crazy. So yes, the currency of the digital age has become somewhat inflated. It's like Reaganomics.
We'll spend our time doing.
Yeah, weird, but overall, a decent movie.
Okay, not
a phenomenon movie. Not something that was like, oh, this changed everything. Like now I watch movies differently. No,
I'm glad to know that it's a movie because I didn't know what it was. I just heard it. And then my wife asked me about it, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
The Bird Box?
Yeah. You know she said, you guys going to talk... She asked me, she said, you guys going to talk about this... You're probably going to talk about this Bird Box thing that broke the internet. And I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what Bird Box is.
Yeah, I didn't know it broke the internet. I didn't know maybe it broke... some pages shut down. Maybe they said Netflix did have a shutdown. Netflix had a pause because everybody wanted to watch it. Was that rainy day? Like it was rainy or something, Saturday or maybe last week?
Well, that must be regionally, though.
Oh, no, it was the day after Christmas, no?
Okay.
Something like that. Anyway. Just broke the internet. Just when we thought we got away from it. Thought we got away from it.
My fault, I won't touch it.
No, no worries.
I won't touch it ever again.
I don't think it has anything to do with touching it.
Do.
Yeah. So, that was that. What else is going on? Did we talk about Aquaman? I saw Aquaman.
Yeah, you saw Aquaman.
I saw Aquaman on Christmas Day. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You have to see Michael Moore's Fahrenheit
11/9. Okay.
Now, for all you Michael Moore haters or likers, because how come they don't have likers?
They're right. I guess those would be fans. I guess those would be fans.
Yeah, fans.
You know. I guess am I a fan of Michael? I guess I'm a fan of Michael Moore.
I like Michael Moore. I say like because it's the like button, right? I would if it was a Michael Moore button, I would say I like it.
Like him. I guess he tends like his last one he did. He tends to he's like bordering on conflation.
Yes.
So he's like kind of like lumping things together that aren't necessarily true and but making statements about it. And
correct.
That's
so you
questionable.
Right. Exactly. So that's what I was going to say. So you take his, I guess his stardom or his, what did he do? He did something.
Well, he calls them documentaries.
Right.
He's a
controversial filmmaker.
He's a filmmaker.
But what was his first film?
His first one had to do with.
No, he made a film that was a regular film, not a conspiracy film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Oh, Michael Moore did like a regular movie, like Black Swan or something.
I remember he did the one about the NRA. He did one about gun violence. He did one. I think it was called Roger and Me.
Yeah, Roger and Me. Yes, he did that, which Trump liked, by the way.
He did one where he was about the maybe that was the one with the how Detroit, the area of Detroit where he lived, has been decimated because businesses were leaving and stuff like that, and how much like big companies are really not paying attention to the average worker and stuff. And he's done other ones.
So in this one, in 11/9, he it tackles a lot of the same current events, which is great. And I said what I said earlier only because you have to be a subjective viewer. You can't look at it and go, "Oh, because Michael Moore said it." Like one of these other guys said on a webcast. I think it was the Rubin Report. He says. He says your only research can't be you saw it on Loose Change or you saw it on another documentary.
Right.
You can't. That can't be the basis of it because you're looking at a produced article, which is 100% true. And in the Michael Moore situation or case of this movie, you have to almost go, okay, he's producing this to invoke a message. Number one. So if you're either with his message or against it, you're not going to get the what do you call bias or unbiased?
Well, he's instilling a bias.
Right.
He's doing it from a point of view.
Correct. So it's always his perspective. So
Right.
once you look at it that way, and you look at him and you go, okay, well, he's a kind of a glooby glob, fat, gelatin guy. He's not a perfectly fit guy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like he's barging on health issues. I mean, I'm sure. You look at him, he could barely walk, and he's got this, looks like a chicken, and his
Yeah.
gobble is shaking all over the place. He's kind of weird kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't take anything from him. I don't know him or anything. But the 11-9 was fantastically put together.
Okay.
Masterfully done cinematography wise, where he's juxtaposing obviously images with sounds, and he does some really cool things in this one. I'll give you an example of one. He takes a speech from Donald Trump, right?
Okay.
And puts footage of Hitler
Mm.
in the background, right? And so he does everything that he's saying Hitler is doing and whatever. Now, naked eye, non-research eye, the person that just looks at it for what it is, static value,
Yeah.
and they go, "Oh, I told you he's a Nazi. I told you, and
Yeah.
whatever." So you would actually believe that. But then he goes into a skit on the Flint, Michigan water crisis.
Which is still it's still fucked up.
Oh my God. I apologize. I've only heard Flint, water. Flint, water. Okay, water's still fucked up. Okay, get these people some water. What's the problem? I did not know what the issue was. Now, forgive me if it's not the way he says it is, because what he showed was criminal. Okay?
Yes.
Governor Schneider. You know this guy? Never heard this man's name, even with the crisis hearing
Right.
about it. I'm not saying it's not prominent because I didn't hear about it. It's because I didn't dig deep enough to find it, right? Governor Schneider first of all, he made himself the emergency manager. You heard of this thing?
Right, yeah.
And got rid of every mayor.
Got rid of all the
every mayors and councils of each.
got rid of the council and basically put himself in charge of it.
Yeah, so in other words, like how my town here, we have a town controller and a mayor. He got rid of all of that. It's like, I'm the emergency manager.
Right.
I have appointed guy here with me, and the governor just controls all of Michigan. That's it.
Right.
We don't need mayors. We don't need towns and counties and all that other stuff. Everything goes through me. And then Lake Huron, okay, which is the world's largest freshwater
lake. Yeah.
freshwater lake, which I did not know. He dug a separate pipeline, underneath it, side by side, the other pipe that was there. So you have an existing pipeline that was there, and a second pipeline to it, directly to a plant where they could
process water
and sell it to the highest bidder. Nestle, Evian, all these guys can come buy water and whatever else. Great profit for the city and whatever else, or him and his whatever.
Right. That's kind of like, a matter of fact, a lot of companies do that. Basically, I think there's a federal law that says that you can't derive your water from
Natural,
a lake,
right,
of certain size. You can't do that.
You just can't.
But you can do what you just said. You can dig a pipeline. You can drain that water and put it in another location and get your water from that location. Haha, we're not getting our water from that lake. We're getting our water from this location.
Right.
Which the thing is, it's like a little trick, like a little carbonaro effect they did on the,
a little dip into the reservoir.
Right. Right.
So then he dug the pipeline, the one that everyone was getting their water from. He channeled it to the Flint, Michigan Lake, a river, like our Hudson, equivalent to our Hudson River,
right?
With all the shit and garbage in it, where all the warehouses dump their oils and where dead animal, no animal can live in it, no, horrible,
yeah.
And said it's not that bad,
yeah.
Oh, you got to see this thing, and to the point where they have the test scores. There's a couple of whistleblowers, young lady who was in charge of the administration of doing the test for the kids for lead, and everything was above the it was 5 and above, and the legal amount is 3 point something. No one had anywhere near the 3, and they told her. She said, "Well, we have to retest. Maybe something's wrong with the equipment." And they said, "Nah, everyone's a 3. It just anything past 3, we're not gonna. It doesn't help them." He said, "This is the way they get help because now," and they approved everybody. No kid was sick, but they're dying. They have legionnaires. There's women.
Nobody's sick. They're dead.
Yes.
It's.
Oh man, this is pretty crazy.
And you're right. It's criminal.
You're
right. It's criminal. And this is where I wish we had a responsive. See, this is where I would love to see a responsive federal government.
Right.
That would say, "Hey, you fucked this up, and people are dying.
Yeah.
So guess what? You're not in charge anymore. Get your ass out. We are going to fix it, and in the process of fixing it, we'll allow the people to figure out who they want to govern them. But as far as this shit is concerned, we'll go ahead and fix it. It'll be on our dime. The state of Michigan is going to owe us, whatever, however you do it.
Yeah, you charge them back. Yeah.
But this is where the federal government needs to step in. This is where the federal government needs to step in and say, "Hey, look, you're killing people. You're killing citizens, so your sovereignty as a state is fucked up because you haven't protected people."
But then it goes a little deeper, and it goes to where GM, who has a plant there, says, "Hey, this water's where we wash the cars, the parts, it's corroding the parts. You can't do it. You got to." So they stuck up and said, "Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't know it was that bad. We thought, But you're telling people it's okay to drink." They switched the water back, but only to GM.
Only to GM.
Only to GM. And they got fresh water to wash cars. Just to wash cars. But people can't have it to fucking drink or brush their teeth.
Right.
And people are sitting there going, when I was in Iraq, this is how we drank with a bottle and a toothbrush. So you have a whole generation of kids growing up with brush your teeth with a fresh bottle of water. That don't know a faucet, that don't know a tap. So remember we said last podcast, isn't it great when you could just turn the faucet on and shit works?
Right.
Isn't it great when the lights just come on?
Yeah.
In America, do you think it shouldn't be?
That shouldn't be the case. No, you're absolutely right. It's crazy. You're absolutely right. That's fucking ridiculous. No, I want to see that. I want to see that because he can borderline on propaganda.
Yes.
As opposed to dispensing information. So I'm curious as to what. And 11/9, what is 11/9? 11/9, like the date Trump got elected? Is
correct.
that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, it's correct. It was the day he conceded on the election.
We have to remember that corruption didn't start when Donald Trump became the president.
No.
We got to remember that a lot of the shit that we have a problem with Donald Trump kind of existed before. He's been with hookers. So really? So he's the one?
Right.
Not anybody remember Kennedy? Kennedy built the fucking tunnel under the White House to get his women in and out.
Yeah, baby, come downstairs.
So come on, let's I don't mind calling anybody out, but let's be real about it. Let's not say that one was better than the other. I think you can probably hold Barack Obama up on very, very high. He seemed like a very, very dedicated family man, and no issues personally. There were no issues within his administration and stuff like that. But you can make a decision. You can have opinions about the way he ran the country and stuff. But as far as the type of human being he was and whatnot, I don't think you can question that.
But there was a whole segment of that in continuation of the Flint thing. I'm just wondering why I'm not seeing a spike here.
Blagga.
Yeah. In where the Flint, see from near it kind of just
no spike.
No spikes.
Maybe it's not recording. Maybe it's not getting us. We are recording. We got a little bit.
I don't know. Just not seeing spikes.
Not seeing spikes. Okay. Maybe everything's all even.
But we didn't change anything.
Even flow.
Yeah.
I can see it on the audio.
I mean, this is all right. Tracking, but I don't know. We'll find out later.
See.
They show a segment where Obama comes in and they said, "Oh yeah, we got Obama coming in to help with the," and he did a piss ass job. Listen, I was blown away. Again, you wonder if he's just positioned these appropriately to make it look like this. But he came in, everybody, hey, listen, Flint problem's everyone's problem. Can I get a glass of water? And he gets a glass of water, and he's, we need to fix this. And he just did this. Oh, minstrel show.
Yeah, it's a little show.
It was a super
little shuck and jive.
Oh man, I was so disappointed at watching this.
I remember that. I can't remember if it was a press conference or just. But yeah, I remember
was
that.
very disappointed in watching this. So now we're spiking again.
Okay.
I was very disappointed in watching it because even the press secretary and all that stuff was like, I don't know why he did this. Like, why would you do this?
Yeah.
Why would you ask for a glass of water and tell people we're going to fix it and we're going to do this? And Michael Moore's literally out there saying we need the federal, we need the Army Corps of Engineers.
Right.
We need people. We need to let the CDC test these people in a different state. They can't be the people testing their own people.
Right, because they've determined themselves to be fucked up. So they're compromised.
So you need a third party to come in and say, hey, come to you need. Mm-hmm. Let's just say it. You need FEMA to do this, or some Red Cross, or somebody to come in and say, "Hey, you know what? Come here. Let me take one little form of testing kit. Boop. Okay, you're sick. You're sick. You're sick." And Barack goes and says, "I can remember being a kid. Took a little piece of paint chip, chewed on it, and I ingested lead." What the fuck?
I wonder if he had tap shoes on.
Yo, bro, you got to see this thing, man. Barack, I am a little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed at that shuck and jive. And guess what? I had not seen this. And then they show like the Jesse Jacksons and the marchers and all these people fighting for Flint. But not one time have I heard this governor's name mentioned to be brought up for a war crime or to be brought up to,
this is how you get a Donald Trump.
That was the segue to this whole thing. They said Donald Trump was not the first time. This is not the first time you saw this type of mentality. Take, for instance, his buddy Schneider, who he endorsed, who they're very good friends with, but this was pre-Trump. I'm segueing into what you said earlier of how Donald Trump wasn't invented. Now there were so many that people voted for, that people elected, and this guy was the CEO of Gateway Computers.
Right.
That shitty computer. He said,
Gateway.
You remember that shitty little
Gateway computer? Yeah.
But he had a lot of money. He had no political experience. He had no, he was the same vein.
Yeah, it's
I know
it's disappointing because
it is very disappointing.
It's disappointing because you look at it begs the question. Okay, well, who can we rely on?
Right. Who do you trust?
Who can we trust? Right. Who's number one? Who's telling us the truth?
Right.
Number two, who's doing things on our behalf in our favor? I mean, it's we preach a lot about, hey, you got to do for yourself and stuff like that. But there's certain things. Look, you can't control the water that comes in your damn pipes, and you would like to think that when you take a shower or when you get a glass of water or when you cook or something like that, that water that's provided for you in the United States of America is safe.
Yeah, pre-screened.
I won't die from it.
Right.
Some water's better than others. Some got hard water. Some got minerals. But you know what? You're not going to die from it. You'd like to think that is the case. Yeah.
I wonder at some point there's a level of how do you fix it, right? How do you
Yeah, how do you fix it? I mean, at what point? Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, what if everybody in Flint, Michigan, got themselves a gun and just went into the Capitol and said, "Hey, fix this."
Okay, I'm going to go even further, and I hate to exasperate his movie, and I encourage everyone to go see it. I don't want to try to tell the whole story. They clearly showed right soon as that happened, they initiated a military test exercise in Flint, Michigan. They sent 500 tanks. They sent paratroopers come down. Boom, boom, boom. Blew up these buildings, all these old decimated schools and stuff. No warning. Just came bombs from Baghdad. People went nuts. They were like, holy shit, the army's coming in and no warning. Sirens went off.
For what?
For what? For shock value. And they went in and the guys, he interviews a guy and he's with the army. And he was like, well, this place was had a bunch of abandoned buildings and it was a great place to do an exercise before we deployed to Iraq. So you just you equated
an American
city with living citizens. People live there, taxpayers and whatever else, and you quarantined that off and said, "Hey, this is a great place to do a military exercise." What they did was exactly the antidote, the antivirus to what you just suggested.
Right.
Oh, you guys want to act up? Look who's come. And they show tanks coming in on the train system, on the rails, and people are like, "Oh shit, these motherfuckers come in here." Like, drink the water or else, motherfucker. Damn. Flint, Michigan, we praying for you guys, man. And this problem is still not fixed.
No, it's not.
And
it's not. Every once in a while, I don't play much on social media anymore. Every once in a while, but I'll just send a little thing, say, "Hey, does Flint have clean water yet?"
Flint water still, yeah. Man, I was super disappointed at this, and to see that this is and the lady said, she says, "If I told you this story without telling you where it was, you'd think I was in Honduras or South American country, Ecuador or something, or Middle East somewhere, and it's fucked up."
Well, it shouldn't be in America.
No,
it as red, white, and blue as I can be. That shit shouldn't be in America. You shouldn't have to worry about the infrastructure killing you for political and economic reasons, and you shouldn't be threatened into or subversively threatened into. Hey, what if you decide to act up?
Yeah, So again, one of his consensus on this whole topic of the numbers, when you go to the numbers, and they asked, why would this happen? They asked one of the other senators or governors, one of the other guys from Michigan who despises this guy. He goes around handing out water, and he's really trying, but he was like, "I'm fighting a bigger machine," and he was like, "That motherfucker should be in jail. Like, he's a criminal." And he's another white guy too, so it makes it seem a little bit more. But he goes off and says, "You know what?" He says, if the numbers didn't show that we have a 75% African American community, the highest welfare state, the highest unemployment, we are the bottom of the barrel, and have resources that when you took the only one fresh water from Lake Huron, the last resource they had, they equated it to just like, okay, fuck these Hajis. We want that oil they got over there. We want their resources here. They don't deserve it. Look at them. They live impoverished. They're below the poverty line. We can't help them anymore. So let's just take the stuff and we'll give them MREs, put them in camps, and eventually, stop their reproductive system, so you figure you drink that poison water, all the guys are all fucked up. They can't have babies. The men are in jail. That's genocide, man.
You can, well, I guess when you put it that way, yes, you can make that argument.
I'm so mad that I guess feeling helpless, but not being able to do anything and not knowing where to turn to. Like, I don't know who to. I've heard so many scams and people help Flint, send $1, send $1 to help. I mean, shit, for crap. We've grown up with this picture of a Cambodian kid with a fly on his eye all our life.
Yeah, same kid.
Just $50, just 50, about 5 cents a day will help this kid. But what about in America? What about those people that just need a bottle of water, 1 gallon of water a day, would help them live a little bit better? But even that's shouldn't be like. That's crazy to me. That's really crazy to me.
No, I agree.
Wow.
I agree. Hopefully in 2019 we'll fix it. We'll get that right. 2019. You wouldn't think that we'd be saying that in 2019. You think that'd be something that we'd fix in 1919?
Yeah. You know what I watched? I watched 2001: Space Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
Stanley Kubrick. Weird fucking movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it was made in 1968 or something. 68, somewhere around there. He almost had it. He had the future. But I was watching the apes, figure out tools and try to figure out how to beat someone up.
Right.
It's kind of what it was. It was like, hey, he had the bone. He was like, hey.
Yeah.
You'll hit me with that bone?
All great inventions came about when we realized we could exert a certain amount of force on somebody else and
force trauma
and take their stuff. And listen, that's been, we don't like talking about it now. We don't, but that has been how we have progressed.
Yes.
As societies.
Yeah.
We have come to a point of saying, hey, I want this. They have this.
Yeah.
They're not giving it to me. What can I do to take it from them?
I want your shit.
Right, exactly. That's basically what it was.
Fur trappers, bear trappers, all that coming. The Indians had the little, and they came and they, fuck your tents, fuck your little teepees.
Right, yeah. You come with a knife, I got a gun.
Right. My boomstick. And tie your little squally up and,
Boomstick.
tie your squally up and take your, see, there's a fact. See, Kurt Menefee's little
Kurt Menefee's chunky.
Size.
Yeah.
A little plus size.
No more. I'm tired of seeing women on sports shows. I'm tired of seeing women. Well, let me take that back. Not tired of seeing women on sports shows. I'm tired of seeing women for show on sports shows. Like, if there was a group of guys, but a chick whose skirt's a little bit high. Yeah. For some reason, she's always in open-toed shoes, and she's always, like, swaying and all that stuff like that. No. I'd like to see the exact opposite. I want to see a fat dude with a bag of chips
do the sports show?
Just like,
well, him and his girl, there's people, there are sports fans, like you said, that, like you said, just sit on this couch and have that little weekend warrior type of mentality. And I don't know why this, Bradshaw's not appealing. This fucking guy, for sure, Michael Strahan.
Strahan, he's working on that billion. What?
But, this guy, you everyone says, why don't he get his teeth fixed? No, that's what they hired him for. They hired him
for that.
Who was it? It was one of these guys, Dick Gregory or whatever. They said always watch for the impediment. Like, there's always something wrong with a guy that makes it that far. There's something that they need to, like this guy with the chipped tooth or the gap in his teeth. There's always something about him, whether he has a limp or he's got some, there's always like Samuel Jackson.
Well, that's a little disingenuous, though. I think.
It's an opinion from someone.
No, I understand. Right. I understand, but that's still, you still got to give the devil his due, because it's not like a guy like Michael Strahan was sitting on the couch and everybody said, "Hey, come on, we got an idea for you." No, he pimped himself out and he positioned himself to be that.
Yeah.
And think? So
I don't know.
Yeah, look, he had connections in networks, and he wanted to be able to do this, and so when he was done, and he's obviously articulate, and he can speak well, and he can do multiple things, and so it's not just a matter of somebody didn't pluck him out and say that. He was given some opportunities. He took advantage of those opportunities. He parlayed those into other opportunities, and then so be it.
Yeah, it's definitely weird to see who gets, like what's his name, Ryan Seacrest, or these guys that just get plummeted to the top of doing everything. Like, that guy, I don't know how he sleeps.
Ryan Seacrest?
Yeah.
He can't sleep.
Can't sleep.
There's no way.
There's no.
What was it? I forgot what show it was. He was on some comedy show, and he was talking about it's some movie. I can't remember what. I think it was Knocked Up. I think it was the movie Knocked Up. He had like a small part in Knocked Up, and when like this woman was interviewing him as Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, okay. He played himself in the movie.
Yeah, and he was talking about, what's wrong with these kids? They're late. I got 5 jobs. I'm already late for 3 other jobs.
Yeah.
By doing this interview.
True. He's one of those guys, man.
But that's how you become a dude who's worth a few $100 million.
Wow.
That's you don't get that. You don't just
get that from sitting on the couch.
Right. You don't just walk into a room and just claim, I'll take the $100 million bag. No, you kind of like got to work for it. And so there's not very few people like stumble onto a few $100 million.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Damn, what else is going on in the world of, we are at the end of 2018.
It's over. It's it. If you didn't get it done, hey. Shit, work it on. What are you doing for 2019? Are you a resolution dude?
No. So I posted this yesterday on the gram saying the calendar does not change your motivation. It's a reminder. It should be just a calendar like any other thing.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King Day is on the 15th. You know, these are milestones that you can chalk up. But if you didn't have the motivation in 2018, the date doesn't change.
Date doesn't change it,
Yeah,
right?
what do you think? Hey, now this is my
Now
year.
I can do it. So
And
now
if you
you could actually do it today.
You could have did it yesterday.
Right.
You could have. So if you're a procrastinator, you're going to be a procrastinator.
Are you going to do anything? Do you think that you'll be doing anything differently?
Myself?
Yes.
No.
Like, do you look at it and say, hey, you know what? Maybe I can do, and not necessarily because it's 2019, but then as you moving forward, saying, hey, maybe I can do this a little bit differently.
Yeah,
or maybe
yeah,
I can pay more attention to this, or blah blah blah.
Yeah, I have a few things. I mean, I have a few things that I need to resolve. Only because the calendar changed and this is a new year. It's nothing fresh about it. I still got to handle old issues and then get them resolved. You know, I'm kind of going to do a little bit of a financial cleanse of just like
a little audit.
Yeah, I'm going to chill the fuck out on Amazon, that's for sure. Fucking boxes are taking over here.
But that's part of it, though. That's part of it. True. You know, just like going over and looking at some things and say, hey, you know what? I could do this a little bit. I could do this a little differently, or I can, you know, I could be better at this, or maybe I'm spending too much time doing this, or stuff like that. You know,
I don't have any credit cards going into 20.
No debt.
No. I don't
no credit cards.
Debt.
Oh, okay.
Credit cards.
Okay.
I have no credit cards. I have no ability to just put something on a card.
Okay.
I don't have that. So
that's good.
I got rid of all of that.
Get rid of debt is good.
Yeah.
I think I have. I
don't even have a gas card.
I have a couple credit cards. None of them are. No, all of them zero. Zero balanced out all my.
That's good.
All my credit cards.
That's good.
There's one that I like use for stuff here and there, but it's like paid off at the end of the day.
I used to have an emergency card that was like, you know, for emergency.
Right. And then you started reclassifying what an emergency was. Right. So like, I gotta get a drink at the bar.
This is fucking emergency.
This is emergency. Oh shit! The train shut down. Fuck! I'm gonna be here all day.
Right.
I need that drink and oysters.
Or taking an $80 Uber home. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. Just to sit in, so I could sit in the car, drunk faced, and text and you know.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
You can be drunk on the train.
Yeah. And bathrooms. I did notice on the Long Island Railroad, next time you're on the train, look up.
Okay.
It's cameras.
Oh, there've always been cameras there.
No.
On the Long
in
Island
every
Railroad?
car? No, that's new, bro. Look up. It's not in every. You're gonna see more. Look up. See if your car has cameras on them.
Okay, all right.
There were not cameras on every car. You remember being these domes on every.
I've always been under the impression. I always am under the impression that I'm being watched.
But you thought there was a hidden camera, like a.
Well, no. I'm just saying that I thought that you're on public transportation.
Yeah.
Somebody's looking at something.
Yeah, the stations have cameras.
Right.
You know, because they could see the trains coming to and from. Okay. And in case anyone fucking jumps off the platform or some shit. Because the Long Island Railroad, this shit is just like open, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's just an open road. And if you catch that fucking one that's not stopping at your station and you just decide to
lean.
Fuck it. This is
over, yeah. That's it. And that thing's hard. That'll change your life.
Yeah. I saw something about these trains, you know, the ones that roll on the street where you have the cross things go down.
Streetcars?
But
the trains that are in traffic and on the street.
On ground, yeah.
Okay,
on ground. Trains that, you know, like your station here.
Right, okay.
And the thing is supposed to come down.
Right.
I see that there's this big thing now where they're failing. Like the signals are not coming down on time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there was one that said it seemed like the system had been hacked, but not hacked by a person, but it overrode itself to the timing messed up or something. Like,
okay.
So infrastructure, again, you know, you hope that this system is in place, but it was a police officer, only because this one where the police officer had his dash cam on, and he's oh shit, and revered to the side and ding 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 ding, ding. And then the thing came down after the train passed. It was late. It was off, and
but you would think you would hear a train. You would think. I mean,
well, if it's normal for you, like you normally hear it, like I hear it toot toot all the time,
right?
I don't pay it any mind.
You wouldn't think it would be like right next to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're so programmed to know that when the thing goes down, you better chill out. So when you see it was no flashing light. Flashing light means okay, it's about to come down. Like I did that one. The first week I got the white truck. We crossed over a thing, and she was like, "Babe, the light is flashing." I said, "Yeah, yellow means I still got time." And the one in front of me closed.
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I just bolted. That shit hit the luggage rack and bing, bing, bing. Scared the shit out of me.
That is a scary moment. Dude. There's some things that like bring out the sweet bitch in everybody, and I think getting hit by a train is, especially when your family's in the car. That's just like,
forgive myself.
Oh my God,
Geraldine, our friend Geraldine, my wife's friend Geraldine. You know, remember Geraldine?
Yes.
She has a twin sister, Melanie. She jumped out, like went across.
She got stuck on the track.
Got stuck. The gate came down, and then the gate came down behind her.
Oh,
and she was in between, and ding, 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 ding.
She got out. Oh my God.
She got out, ran out. Boom! Brand new car.
Whoo.
Brand new car, and just by the skin of her teeth. Thank God she sings gospel in the choir.
They're probably now, yeah.
She always has.
Every day.
She sent a fucking angel.
But there was every once in a while you'll hear a story about somebody who tries to, like when it does come down.
Yeah.
Somebody like when it does work, it comes down and like the train is like a station away.
Yeah.
So when it does work right, it stops you and you don't see the train immediately.
Right.
It'll be a few more minutes, but you know the train is coming. But somebody will always be an idiot and try to navigate through the damn thing and not, and they rarely make it. They usually get stuck because those, you know, they're not meant to be driven on. No. So you should get stuck.
One tire in this and you got rear wheel drive.
Right. And it's happened a few times where like some people have gotten stuck. And you know you got to get out your car, or you're gonna die, and that's got to, you know,
pretty fucking scary. I'll tell you that much, man. That's for sure.
No, there are just some things that you should submit to. Like, submit, like if the track says, "Hey, a train's coming, don't cross," just take it for granted that fucking thing. This isn't time for you to be the alpha and just say, "I don't listen to nobody. I don't listen to no." Just be the subservient person and accept the fact that, hey, if they're right, I'm good. If they're wrong, fine. I'll deal with that.
I can deal with the shame.
But I'll just assume that they're right and not do that.
Pretty much.
You know.
I had a lady who I see every morning, like we ride the same train in the morning, and you know, she crossing Sunrise Highway, you know, on foot is kind of challenging because the guy's cornering. A girl got killed there across the street.
You know, unfortunately, it happens all the time. But there's a lot of
So the lady, you know, she's like, she wants to run, like, and I said, "You want to get to work that bad? Like you ready to die for your job?"
Yeah.
And she said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, fuck that."
Right.
Said, "What am I doing?"
Right.
I said, "I don't know. I'm asking you. What are you doing? Like, you're going to work. I mean, you own the company?" And she said, "No, I said, is your boss going to be at your funeral? Will he come? Like, will he just send a card?
Is your family going to be okay?
Right.
Your boss going to take care of your family after this?
What madness would you have to run kill yourself to get to work?
And if you're hesitating, that means that your mind is saying, hey. If you know, you're not like just going off with your body. Like something in you is going, maybe you shouldn't do this.
You need to commit to it. Just
bolt you're gonna do it. You know, like when you have aggressive drives. If you're gonna go in the lane, just go in the fucking lane. Don't like stop. Just don't do it.
I tell the kids though that when I was teaching them how to drive was always like, I said, we've been roller skating before, and I said, remember when we were at the rink? It's the same thing with driving. Movement saves you.
Yeah.
Stopping, horrible. Brakes, horrible. Like, as much as they are the safety part of the car, you know, you got to keep moving. Everything is a continuous rhythm.
Right.
Like, if you keep going, yes, you'll miss the exit. You'll come back.
Right.
At best. If the worst thing you could do mixing an exit is if it's the one that has a toll and the next U-turn is not till 10 miles or whatever. Right. Or you cross it and you got to get, I got to fucking take the Verrazano now.
That's a pain in the ass.
But it's better than.
But it's better than dying.
Better than a crash.
It's better than dying.
Yes. Oh man, I'm like, why would you guys do this?
I used to tell kids that when I was coaching football. Like, if you're gonna err on the side of moving aggressively forward. Go forward, and then even if you do get hit, you know what? 9 times out of 10, that hit won't be as bad as if you just stood there,
right,
not knowing what to do, and then this 200-pound dude decides to run over you.
Man,
you know.
Coach, do you miss coaching? You miss coaching football a little bit?
A little bit. I don't miss the time.
Yeah.
The amount of time it took. I don't miss the ungrateful parents.
Very good.
That stuff. You know. Unfortunately, that kind of got to me a little bit. You know.
Like there can be something like
people can be a little bit right because everybody wants to criticize. Nobody wants to participate.
Right.
You know, you can participate. Yeah. You know, so you
want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Right, exactly.
Open the doors, open the gym, ride kids home, do this.
We would say, look, I got extra whistles. You are more than welcome. Come down and help us. You know,
but not just one game, every game,
all of them,
all season. Can you commit to the whole season? And you could be a coach.
Right,
and that's kind of how I got to coaching. I was a dad. I was a team dad or whatever else, and I actually got an award for being a team mom because they only had them printed for moms.
I remember that, yeah.
And while I thought it was kind of weird, I accepted it only because, you know, I wanted to break that boundary. Like, it's not just moms who do this. And I was fortunate to be a parent that had weekends off. You know,
so you could.
So I could give it, and that's where I said I could give these kids some of my time. I could give. Okay, Eli. Oh, interception in the end zone. Did he wave it off? Wow.
I was going to say that ball shouldn't have been thrown. You had 2 defenders on your one guy. That ball shouldn't have been thrown.
Anyway, so I saw what it was like to and I accepted that award. But it's hard when parents don't understand, even though they are parents, and they just they think it's a bigger system than these are just parents. These are just I'm a parent like you. I got a job too. I go to work. I'm not a robot. I'm not And I hate when they should have told us something. They sent an email. Okay, well you
could have read it.
You could have read it. Could did your part.
I can't. The only thing I can do is give you information. I can't make you read it or pay attention or anything.
Yeah, or you don't work out with your own kid. Like you don't take them to the park and dribble with them, and you don't sit in the driveway or make them do push-ups at home. Stuff you could do. You expect the coach to make your kid an NBA player. It's not going to happen. So, that's that.
Now, if in today's world...
Oh, shit. Here we go.
You could probably have an operation and get your Team Mom Award if you'd like.
I'm going to go with the no. I'm going to go with the no.
Have you seen these, though? Have you seen these... Come on. These... I saw this article about this
more gender bending
man... A guy who's a transitioned female. Okay, so born a male.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had surgery or anything like that, but he's declaring himself a female. Okay. He's a female. Okay.
Oh, and he won some kind of games.
Wants to play in the women's rugby league.
I saw you posted this on Twitter.
This dude is 6'3", 240 pounds, beating the shit out of these women in rugby.
Hey.
Rugby is about as tough as they come. It's like, just imagine football with no pads and very few rules.
It's kind of hockey-ish on ground.
So, granted, people who play this are tough people, and the women who play it are extremely gifted physically, and there's some tough broads. But put that up against a 6'3", 240-pound man, all full of all his testosterone and muscle density and muscle and bone development and all that shit like that.
Jeez.
Against some 5'7", 165-pound
MILF
woman who's she ain't gonna back down.
Right. She's tough.
But she's gonna die when that happens.
Oh,
that should not happen.
Yeah,
that should not happen. Yeah. There's something wrong with that.
There's something severely wrong with the gender bending.
And then claiming victory. Like, this is the best female rugby player in the world. Yes, but you have a dick.
At some point, the lines will blur and we won't know who's who anymore, right?
How?
If enough of this happens, this is evolution, no? Like, if we augment, you don't think man can augment?
Two things happen. Two things compete with one another. Well, I shouldn't say compete with one another. They happen at the same time, and that's the nature and nurture.
Yes.
So, if you want to take care of the nurture part,
right,
and you want to totally control the nurture part, the nature part will go into overdrive, because that what we need is that balance.
Yes.
You know, for civilization to keep going, you need men having sex with women, creating females, or creating babies.
Yeah, either or.
That has to happen, right?
For us to survive.
Right. So you have to have qualities that match up or link up with the qualities of the opposite sex,
right?
So that you two can get together and have some babies. If you start changing all of those things, right, and saying that it's evolution, what you're actually doing is you're hampering evolution. You're actually getting in the way of something that's progressed for a long period of time.
I'm thinking outside the box. I'm saying it's already unnatural, right?
Well, how is it unnatural?
It's unnatural.
Evolution?
No. It's already unnatural for you to chop yourself and.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's already unnatural.
Yes.
So why would you think that people living unnaturally would want to continue living? Expect natural things to happen. Why would they expect natural babies? Now you want to do injections. Now you want to do mutations.
But the question you asked was, is this evolution?
Yes.
Are we evolving to this point where we're all just pretty much the same?
So what I'm saying is that what happens when enough of this generation of this gender benders come out and say, well, we don't recreate the traditional way because we're different. So we scrape our skin, we get a DNA, and we have babies this way.
To that, I would say you need to read Aldous Huxley's Brave New World.
Yeah. Again, that's what I'm saying. It's possible if enough of if the numbers are so sweeping that, forget what the media covers and shows and does. If enough of them become scientists and have the power, and then one's a governor and then one's and then they start creating this world, they start creating things that suffice their world, that give them all the things they want. Oh, we want to have a baby. Oh, let me take your fingernail and take your DNA and mix this because our friend who's at the so-and-so lab can do this for us. Like ingenuity, mother necessity, and ingenuity. Right. So I'm not saying I like this or want it or whatever else. I'm just saying there's a possibility, a huge possibility that man can evolve to the gray people.
I would say that would not be. Well,
it's no different than the guy's book.
I guess evolution is like. I think when we think of evolution, we think of
the natural way.
When we think of evolution, we think of things changing for the better. It doesn't necessarily mean things are changing for the better. It means things are changing.
Right.
Or evolve. I think we assume that evolve means that it's getting better, and that's not necessarily the case.
Well, evolution didn't work for the dinosaurs. It didn't.
No,
in their minds, they were like, what the fuck?
They got the shit into the deal.
Right.
Fuck, I used to run this joint.
Used to get my shit right from the tree.
Get my shit from the tree. They always get my voice wrong in these movies. How the fuck do they know how I sounded like? You don't say vocal cord. There's no vocal cord recognition. There's no voice recognition.
Right.
All of a sudden, I'm this mean thing.
Right.
I don't even have a voice. I sound like a kitty cat.
You guys are probably gentle as fuck. Like the fucking... Right. Like the Brontosaurus, they always kind of make them a little docile, right? They make them like...
they're like
a little Seymour.
They're like doing that, because it's huge. So let's make it huge, but sound like a pussy.
Giant.
Yeah. So let's make it, let's kind of like...
A gentle giant.
Balance it that way,
Boy.
You're exactly right. We have no idea what those fucking things sounded.
No. It's mind-boggling. We don't know what the sounds smell like. What would the dinosaur shit smell like?
First of all, a dinosaur shit would be this house.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it's kind of like the mountains of Georgia. Like, it's like a bunch of dinosaurs used to live here. They shit all over the place. Shit turned hard.
That's what we're living on.
Stone Mountain.
That's why we get all this great fertilization. These beautiful shrubs.
I mean,
beautiful shrubs.
Not impossible. No.
No. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
It's kind of crazy.
You're absolutely right. Okay. But things do change. I mean, look at. I mean, we got the giant. Look at sports.
Yeah.
You can say that sports has basketball evolved.
Yeah. Yes.
The game is a lot different than the game that it was when we were kids. I mean, when I thought I was becoming a basketball fan, it was in those '90s New York Knicks eras when it was like thug ball.
Yeah.
When it was like, look, you go ahead, drive through the lane. Go ahead and do that. And we'll see what happens to you. Yeah. Right? You had, when it was that type of thing.
Yeah.
Where there was some, there was some thuggery involved in it, but there was also some artistry. You had to work. You had to move the ball. You had to work for your shot and blah blah blah. Now it seems like everything is working towards jacking up jump shots.
Beep.
So that game has changed. Has it evolved? Has it evolved to the better? I mean, that creates a Steph Curry.
Yeah.
But it also creates a bunch of dudes who think they got jump shots.
Yeah, it creates a bunch of Steph Currys or people that say I have a shot. I don't know. It's great. Listen, entertainment is one thing. I mean, we went to the game last night. Mm-hmm. Seton Hall defeated St. John's.
Okay.
St. John's was
put their first L on them.
Put their first donut on them. It was a questionable game. Mm-hmm. There was a questionable call.
Okay.
The ref blew it. The ref blew the call. It was an inbound play with 3 seconds on the clock. Seton Hall had the ball. Supposed to dump the ball in. The guy jumps and steals the ball in the air. Taps it out. In the air. Taps it out. Mm-hmm. The ball should have bounced off and the beep clock should have ran out.
3 seconds or 0.3 seconds?
3.25 seconds. Something like that.
Okay.
So they had 3 seconds to inbound the ball and score.
Okay.
They were down 2.
Okay.
Whatever. Boom, boom, boom. Questionable. They took a few seconds off the clock. It should have been St. John's ball.
Okay.
I saw it. I was there.
Right.
I was like, wow, that was fucked up. But that's the game.
Listen,
that's the game.
Bad calls are part of the game. Now,
refs are not robots.
Now we go back to this point we made about like the creation of the. Do you create something like that? Do you create something to which that is almost infallible, or do you accept the fact that this error caused the game? Because what does that do to you? What does that do to you as a player?
Dehumanizes the game. I mean, if you have infallible,
right? If things are infallible,
right.
And you also have to have this thing where you have to overcome that,
right?
Because hopefully, what the reaction is, I mean, yes, you got jerked, and the possibility.
That's what Chris Mullin looked at. He just said, "You got jerked."
Possibility that yes, but at the same time, you also got to acknowledge, we kind of shouldn't have let it come to this,
right?
We as the thing we couldn't. I couldn't control that ref's fucked up call,
right?
What I could have controlled was back when we
right
at the 5-minute mark when we had that run, we kept fucking up possessions.
Yeah, that's the natural flow of the game, and in hindsight, it's always easier to do it. To say I looked at the box and said, look no further than all the free throws you missed. Mm-hmm. But had you made them, the game would be different. Like that's the moving part of the game. Like you
can't assume right. one thing than the other because
you can't just bonus those points over.
That changes other things.
Yeah. It changes the flow. It changes the trajectory. I mean, that's the only one thing I think people still love about live sport. That all the technical stuff you could do, all the gerrymandering and all the rigging you could do, can't change the physical play.
The physical play, the overcoming of adversity, right. You're exactly
wrestling,
right.
Even wrestling,
right?
All it's fake. You can't tell me if I picked you up like this and spin you backwards, that's not a hell of an entertaining move and pretty skillful. Goddammit.
Well, but they create that.
I know.
Wrestling creates that.
Yes.
They understand that. They understand that this moment is the moment that you want to. That you were up on your heels for,
right?
So they create it artificially. They know they create the outcome and stuff like that. So in their planning,
it's a play. It's no different than watching a play or watching a show or a pirouette or a lady do ballet and she goes through a series of moves, and go through her stint. Or
that's a great. Yeah, you're right. Nothing's like live sports. Last night, me and a friend we watched the UFC fights last night.
Cyborg,
got her ass whooped.
Oof.
Just
I
Amanda.
thought Cyborg won.
No, Cyborg lost.
Oh, Cyborg's the real funny looking one.
Yeah, she's the mannish looking one.
Oh,
who's all female, by the way, but she looks like a dude. But put it this way: if she walks down the street, I'm walking on the other side.
I can't. How can you watch this? I can't watch UFC.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't do it for me, man. It's like ow, like ow. Fucking guy,
that really fucking hurt.
Yeah. That's like stubbing my toe for a show. Like, ow, ow. Like,
yeah.
I know. I shrill watching it. I mean, as entertaining as it's not entertaining for me. I mean, I like the highlights. That's as much as I could watch of it, but I can't watch a whole match of this shit. Wow. I don't know how fans do it. I mean, it's impressive that you could watch that. Like, I can't do it. I really find it very hard. And I'm not a agoraphobe. I'm not I could watch senseless, people beating each other up on a train all day long, and some people say that I can't watch this, So I guess
it was what does Joe Rogan call it? What does Joe Rogan call it? He says it's the problem solving with dire consequences. Like it's like human, like psychological problem solving with dire consequences. So you and I are engaged in combat, and if I get this thing wrong, you're gonna beat the shit out of me.
Huh.
And I have to acknowledge, I have to accept that.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough, but so who won? Who's
So Amanda Nunes beat Chris Cyborg. I think it was like 48 seconds and whatever. She just came out and that's her thing. Amanda Nunes can crack a lack.
Yeah.
She can, she
looks like Letty from the Fast and Furious.
She's got a very diverse profile on what she can do. She can take you to the ground, and but she's strong. She's powerful as fuck when it comes to the fists. And so she laid it in on Cyborg and got it done in like 48 seconds.
Wow.
And then the main event, John Jones beat this dude named Gustafsson in 3 rounds. In a 3-round TKO.
And that was a belt. That was both of them were belts?
Both of them were titles, yes.
Okay, cool.
Both of them were titles.
That's great.
So it was a good night of fights. But like live sports is always the thing, and I was watching the bowl games and earlier that day, football bowls.
Yeah.
Love my football bowls. They were kind of like uneventful because they, the 2 big ones were kind of.
Rose Bowl? Did the Rose Bowl happen?
No, the Rose Bowl is going to be on the first.
Okay, so that's always around the time of
the series. There's a series of bowls that happen on January 1st, which is the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, which had more pageantry involved and stuff like that, and whatnot. These games were for the the eventual national championship. So you do 2 games, and so now Alabama beat Oklahoma, which actually was turning out to be a good game. It looked like it was going to be a blowout. Oklahoma came back, but then Alabama put their foot down.
So now they go up against Clemson.
They're going to go against Clemson, who dismantled Notre Dame.
Really?
Yeah, and then that's going to be a good game. Clemson, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Okay. I was getting confused.
Yeah.
Thought it was in Louisiana.
Clemson. South Carolina.
Clemson Tigers.
Clemson Tigers.
Roll Tide, huh? So big Roll Tide.
That's Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah, my friend Larry Campbell. He's a big Roll Tide guy. I mean, he sees people in the airport. Roll Tide. And they high five each other. What's up, man? How you doing? And I'm like, dude, you know him? He's like, no. He had the A. He had the hat on. He had the crimson hat on. I was like, oh shit! I didn't know it was such a fraternity. Man,
it can be.
It's always like that when I see people in the airport. Like I'm coming from a city that had a big game, and I'm flying out the same time. I always see all these guys with all their
paraphernalia on and stuff.
And I'm like, damn, you guys are like.
So yeah, some teams, some people travel real well. Some teams have like this cluster of fans that like travel real well with their team.
I remember we played when Ron played in the Caribbean Classic in St. Thomas, right? And we said, hey, it's Thanksgiving time. We're gonna go. We have friends out there. We hung out in St. Thomas. Beautiful. Stayed at a crazy, beautiful hotel. The Blackbeard Hotel was really nice. And I say this to say that when we went to the game and we went to the to the event and whatever else, everyone goes out to eat afterwards. And Maryland Terrapins, who we played again, we lost to them, but they were so deep.
They were deep, huh?
My gosh, it was like, whoa, wait a minute. And Marist and Maryland have the same red and white kind of color. So when you look at the logo, you see the M. It's like So they're
you start to think it's.
They're like, hey, you guys. Hey,
that's a turtle.
That's a fox. You're a fox. So it was like, yes. And it was like 8 parents kind of sticking together, trying to have fun, and we get mobbed by these Terrapins that took over the freaking restaurant and literally. Ooh. They was like, you guys can't sit here. It was like, what? They took the whole thing. I was like, whoa. This is not going to happen here. So we kind of like bossed up. I was like, no, you guys can welcome to. We don't mind mingling with everybody else, but you're not going to tell us to move. That's not going to happen there. And it was a big thing. And I said, dude, it's just a game.
Right, it's just a game.
And you won. You won. And
it's just a table, and we're all going to have dinner.
Right. So. And you're going to pay for it, too. I told them, I said, if we had already got our food, I said, so if they want us to move, they got to take the check. We had already ordered, we had appetizers already, and they were like, hey, these people want your table. And I said, if they want our table, they got to pick up the tab.
Right, they can pick up the tab.
They can pick up the check, and we'll gladly take the rest of it to go. Free? They were like, no, we don't want to go. I was like, guys, let's take the check. Like, that's great. Bill's gonna be like $300.
We got some more shit to order.
Right. We can go somewhere else. We go to another restaurant.
It's amazing how shit like that happens, though. Like, so it would have been a totally different thing.
Right.
If somebody said, hey, we got a group coming here. Is it possible that you guys can maybe find another seat or something like that? So our group, because you know what I'm saying? Like, do it in a way that shows you some respect because you got your family there.
Right.
And, now you got to move. So immediately you went, fuck you. I ain't got to move for nothing.
Correct, because I met resistance with with force. You came and said, well,
had that have been a conversation, a pleasant conversation, who knows? Maybe you might have. Maybe you might have been cordial and said, "Oh, okay. Well,
would you mind moving?" That's the way you ask. Right. Would you mind moving? Because we have a group.
We have a group here that we can fit together,
and we could all be together. Would you mind? And, hey, I'll buy you a drink. That's what you're supposed to do.
Shit. Wouldn't that be something?
That's the easy way.
Wouldn't that be something?
Guys, I'll buy you a round.
Hey, I'll take care of your appetizer for you.
I'll buy you a round or whatever. Buy something on me, whatever.
Isn't that amazing? You can do some shit like that. It's easy.
But people make it so difficult because they want and they don't want to give.
Right.
You want to take something from me, but you don't want to give me anything.
Right.
I should just suck it.
Right. I should just and I should just be bossed down. And he just banked on the fact that you would go, oh, sure, you need to move? Oh, okay. Right. He said, no, fuck you. I'm going to go get my gun now, and we're going to start some shit up in here.
Well, about that, we were in the Caribbean. Well, actually, my friend, he lives out there, and he's one of them 10 job guys, my man Kazim. He's like, yo, take my truck, man. When you're here, family, man, take my truck. I was like, wait. You try driving on the other side. I'm not driving out here.
I don't know how to do that.
Yo,
isn't that scary?
Scary. I fucking put the key in. I was like, oh, wait.
How does this... It's amazing. Your body doesn't move like that. It just doesn't.
It's like that in London, too. I was with James. I was hanging out. He was like, yeah, man, you want to drive my car? No. No, you guys drive on this side. The left turns are... What? I'm on the right. And they was like, yeah, but... I'm like, no, it's weird. It's just fucking really weird.
When I was in Europe, in the few cities I was in Europe, I realized that traffic in Europe is interesting because there's very few like stop signs and lights and stuff like that. But there is sort of like this understanding of organized chaos. It just moves, and everybody goes where they know they're going, and there's very few issues, very few accidents.
Huh.
It's weird because it's just there's nothing that indicates what you're supposed to do at this particular point, but everybody knows you're supposed to do that shit.
Well, I think maybe it's in different languages. No, maybe you just didn't.
No, in a lot of places there aren't any signs and stuff like that, and they don't. And like I said, they have
Panama's like that.
There are very few indicators of traffic.
Oh man,
and so you just know that. You just know you can get in here, you can loop around it and come back around. And you just,
man.
All right.
We used to travel to the travel tournaments for basketball in Wilkes-Barre, PA. You know Wilkes-Barre, between Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. And one of the parents had an accident coming up a hill and then turning into and got hit something. And everybody was safe. Okay, police came or whatever else. The police officer says, "Well, she lives here. She had the right of way." Meaning the person who knew the area had the right of way. You shouldn't have turned. Even
but because she lives here, not that she
Not
had the
even-
right of way.
right.
She
Because
lives here.
She's local to the land and knows the laws here and has the right of way. So the ladies explained to the officer, "How would I know that?"
Right, exactly. How do you know that you're supposed to yield the right of way?
How do I know? Right.
Right.
I'm following the laws, the street, the whatever
Right,
the
right.
signs say.
So whatever that is, okay, fine. She has the right of way.
Yeah.
So then, how do I know that I'm to yield the right of way?
And
to
it was
her?
a four-way flasher. It was a flasher, four-way flashing,
Okay.
which is kind of slow down, yield to the right of way. The other person blew it, like just went straight through.
Oh, okay.
It's my town. No one's normally here. And she was making a turn, and boom.
Yeah, but that's still wrong. No,
I
that's-
know that. We know that it's wrong. The fucking 10-gallon hat cop.
Cobb
wanted to
/ Sheriff Buford Pusser just
So we're all like, now we're all, the parents are all involved, and we're like, oh, wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean? What? And they were just like, guys, take it easy. She's from here. She knows the law here. You fucked up. There's a filling station here. See if they can fix your car. It was Sunday. I mean, this was a big deal. Like,
Right.
she had to come back, drop her car there, ride back with somebody else, leave her car at a station overnight, and then come back in the morning. It was a
Pain in the ass.
horrible way.
pain in the ass.
That's when we started doing like buses and stuff where we just put everybody in one.
Yeah.
Rented. Everybody pay up. And then you get to people, I want to be in my own car so I can drive around myself. Okay, do that.
Go ahead.
Eggs Blackley.
But I ain't paying you for it.
I ain't paying for it. I mean, that's the thing with the volunteering. Like, you used to put stuff on your credit card. You go out.
You fronted a lot of money, right?
And people act like, I used to hate
Like they got something for free. So no, I made this easy so that there would be no issues. Now why don't you do the right thing and
First of all,
Pay you back.
right, exactly. First of all, in the beginning of the year, the program director always tells everybody, my coaches are volunteers, okay? Anytime that there's something that requires us to go out of town, the players are going to pay for my coaches. Travel and accommodations. They do not get paid for this, but you need them to coach you. So your cost of your room is your room plus the coach.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
It's built in.
It's built
into it.
and divided by everyone. That didn't change. That never changed with her program, and always up front. And people go, but I looked on the hotel and it was $89 a night, and you're charging my kid $150. Okay, him plus his portion to the coach.
Right.
Well, why do I have to pay for the coach and his girlfriend?
Fucking
and
Caribbeans, man. I tell you.
I don't know why I'm doing a Caribbean voice. I don't know why I did that. I guess because that was what it really was. But I was watching this movie called Yardie, and
Why did I pay for the coach?
I paid for the coach.
Yeah, the same reason why you didn't pay attention to the fucking information I gave you.
Only you for talk. Only you will say this at the meetings. That's exactly what she said.
Goddamn savages. Borderline savages.
Oh man. So New Year is upon us. Do you ever go into the city? You ever been to Manhattan around the holiday times?
The last time I was, it was a few years ago. This was before I was working at the UN. Actually, I had gone into Manhattan, wondering why all this
confetti.
Well, we're just wondering why, everybody's moving around and they're putting rails up, and it just didn't dawn on me. And it was like 2:30 in the afternoon, and I was like, oh shit,
It's New Year's.
it's New Year's, and they shut pretty much part of the city off.
Yeah, no, all the way up to the.
I remember when it used to not be like that though, and it seemed that it went easier because now they do all these little side shows that they do around there, and they lock you in I think at 4 or 5 o'clock. You're in this particular space.
You're in your space.
Once you're in, you're there. That's it. You're not leaving. Wear your diapers because you're not going to have a play. I think they put up porta potties in some spots,
porta potties up.
but it's still not going to be enough for the amount of people that are going to be there and whatnot. But I remember before they did all that, there really wasn't that much of a commotion. It was it would start up at 8 people would start gathering in the area. You know, it would build up, ball would drop, and then 20 minutes after that, people would just go on about their way and disperse. Now, like, everybody's there, and so now you got to remove all the barriers, and you do all this stuff, and it takes some time, and I don't know, it just seems more congested now than it did in the past, where they just did it. Hey, Happy New Year, and everybody just went on their way.
I see it a different way. I mean, I've worked on 49th and Broadway. I was at the Crowne Plaza for 10 years, and every year it was worse. It just got
worse every year.
Worse. I mean, it was because I could see the ball from my office, from my window, which I had the great seat. I mean, it wasn't a good view, but it was. Yeah, you could see it right there. Yeah. But every year we'd just look down and watch the ants line up, and it was, working on Broadway in Times Square was very stressful. That time of year was like, who comes into the hotel, who wants to use the bathroom, who's, how much out. It was nuts. I mean, security detail was crazy.
Security must
we all wore tuxedos.
Your hustlers are out there too.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it's a lot of shit going on, and it was always pandemonium. I don't ever remember a time like you mentioned it. Maybe you saw it from a different view or a different angle, but I remember every year was like, damn, they let people go over there.
Well, you were right in the middle of it. You were
right. So I had to be there, and that's the thing. And it was times where I couldn't get to work. Like, I could not walk. I get out of the train station on 50th and 8th Avenue and walk down, and you cannot get. So you got to walk around, and I'm like, and you got to punch your clock, and they were like, Whitfield, what's going on here?
You're 45 minutes.
I'm like, what is this?
Do you see that outside?
Yeah, I'm like, well, how did everyone else get here? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Which way did you fucking guys come? Because you should have told me.
That's right. And you left 2 hours earlier.
Yeah, man. But
I think New Year's Eve, St. Patrick's Day, and there's a couple other days.
Thanksgiving Day parade is
No, I'm not talking about parades. I'm talking about days in which New Yorkers just don't go out.
Oh.
Like, if you live or work, you are not in on those. You don't participate in a lot of those things. You do your own.
I like Patty's. I like Patty's Day, though.
Do you?
I love it.
Oh my God,
I love it because I hung out at Blackguards all the time. So for me, it was an Irish bar, and for us, the locals. So their rule was we never had to pay.
Okay,
that's why.
That's great then.
Yeah,
that's
as long as the place was popping and hopping. Drinks keep coming,
but it's like those days, like New Year's Eve, and it's usually amateur hour. It's usually a bunch of kids.
Yeah, that I don't like.
They're kids, and they usually have somebody else's credit card, and if you notice, they travel in bunches. They travel in these groups, and they
get tough.
Well, yeah, and they get tough, and there's always like. There's like the same characters in the group. Like, there's always the leader.
The jokester.
There's always the joker, right? There's always the promiscuous one.
Yep.
And then there's always the one who's always like late and he's behind and he's pretty much there to be with them, to rub off. Where you want to go now, Scott? You want to
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
It's funny. That group is always the same. You see them in pockets. You see them in pockets of like
they always come from
6 to 8 people. It is always in the same group. One person is usually making sense out of the whole thing. One doesn't give a fuck and just wants
got the crazy
to do
shirt
whatever.
On.
Exactly.
Blow me on my Irish.
Right. One guy's got to be calmed down. The other one is just he'd rather be somewhere else, but he doesn't want to be thought of as being a punk or something. Or
It's always around that time people get very Irish, that are not very Irish, and it's like, the Gaelic start coming out.
Yes.
I'll
have a Guinness and a Jameson for you.
Yeah, everyone wants to sound like
love.
Everyone wants to sound like Brad Pitt and Snatch.
No.
The building that drops the ball.
Okay.
I'm fortunate to know the guy who owns it.
Who owns the building?
The Durst family, yeah.
The Durst. You know the Dursts?
Yeah. It's my friend Joshua. Yes, very controversial.
Those must be some nice conversations.
The brother. I'm friends with the brother.
Okay,
and he's cool. He suffers from multiple sclerosis, but survivor. I mean, he's fit as a fiddle. He fucking he can ride a bicycle from here to New York to Miami. Like,
wow,
he's done it before. He's pretty damn fit. I say this to say is that building is unoccupied. Has never had a tenant for the last 10 years or so.
Really?
There's no tenants in that building.
So they operate that building at a loss?
No, they actually operate at a profit because all the ads and the signs.
Ah,
So
okay.
all the everything that's on the building is paid for.
Is
the
paid for.
only tenant they have is the New Year's Eve committee that does the ball and the sit. And I said, "What's the benefit of doing this?" And he says, 30 years from now, we'll have a brand new building that's never been used. Like, just doesn't have the wear and tear. It doesn't have plumbing issues. It's code. It's like sealed. It's like,
so they have a plan to actually have somebody occupy that
they
building.
said they'll sell it one day. I mean, it's real estate. They're real estate moguls, so they're
gonna make money off of it at some point.
It's one of those things that ain't bothering nobody. They get the tax abatement from the city because it's a monument.
It's a monument
for this thing. So they're not operating at a loss. It's pretty freaking ingenious how they do it.
That's one of those, like, if you
know how to wiggle.
If you know it's one of those things where, like, if you were into real estate, that's like you take that internship with the Durst Corporation.
Yeah.
You get him his coffee.
Yeah.
How you like your sandwich, sir?
Yeah.
You're slightly toasted?
9 times out of 10, it's not them. It's the PMs. It's the head of vice president. There's another guy that runs. Actually, there's a lady running the company now. And she's fucking kick-ass. She looks like fucking Angelina Jolie, and she's badass. Like, I swear she's playing soft. Like, when you talk to her, it's like, don't kill me. So how are you gonna get this through the door? Are you gonna just wiggle? Are you gonna just come on, step on it, just do it, just do it? I'm like,
it's amazing. So some people like that are just like, it's amazing, that personality.
Yeah,
because it's one of those things where, like, okay, so let's say she wasn't in real estate. She lived out in the woods, and you handed her an axe. All the trees would be chopped down.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
pretty much.
Like, whatever she does it at a high level. If she decided to have kids, she'd have 9 kids. They'd all be fucking geniuses. That type of thing. Like, whatever she does it at a high performance. If she wanted to be a chef, she'd have 4 or 5 restaurants at different places and whatever. There's some people that they're wired that way. They're wired that way.
Well, most people who are good at any field or something that you're just good at, you're just wired that way, and trying to explain it to other people, it never works.
It never works.
I just don't know how I do what I do.
Yeah.
If you saw this and you saw all these wires and plugs, and how do you know what goes where? Okay.
I don't know.
I don't fucking know. You just you start with one and you go to the next, and you keep trying and plugging and plugging and plugging.
That's the hard thing to do. The hard thing to do is try to quantify procedures that you've come up with. And so now for the next guy, because you try to, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do it the whole time. You'd like somebody else to do it. So you have to create, like, standard operating procedures for doing it. And then you don't know them.
Right.
Because, no, I don't know them. I just do them. So you have to, like, ask yourself, okay, let me do it. Okay, I did this.
But you go back to the root anyway.
Right. You go back to the beginning. Okay, I did this. And then if there's a problem, then okay, I have to do this. And it's hard to kind of, like, quantify something that you've like just learned how to do on the fly because you needed to do it out of necessity.
Yeah. I take the phone company, for example, like Verizon, right?
Okay.
You would think that after all these years, they would standardize hey, this is a home. You had cable, whether it's Verizon, Spectrum, or whatever. The box goes here.
Mm-hmm.
All this wire is plugged in. That's through there. Done. All they need to do is fix and change the heading and just switch you over.
Mm-hmm.
No. I don't know what that wire is. Let me drill a fucking hole through here, pull it through here, run it across the top. And every time they come, they fuck it up.
Yeah, because the infrastructure is the same.
Right.
The infrastructure is the same for everybody. Everybody shares the same infrastructure. That's why cable companies love other cable companies, because you're basically on somebody else's other infrastructure.
But I'm shocked that homes, and this is only me from being on the contractor side and the builder side. I'm shocked that homes don't infrastructure set up their communications same way they set up the electrical wire. And don't wire the wire for the future. And so that all you have to do is come in and change the heading, and you're done. No matter what service you pick, put your new server here. Okay, what do you require? A rack or we have a small piece. Just need a power adapter and a line. Okay, great. You can plug right here. So my whole circuit wall right here would be perfect. But no, you want to fucking drill. I think it's better if you put it through here. Let me drill a hole through here.
Now, in doing that, what you've probably done is you've probably eliminated some jobs.
If I do the other way,
right.
yes.
If that's the same way, what you've probably done is you've probably eliminated some jobs. So it's probably in some ways like a work program.
No, I don't. I don't think.
I mean, not a program, but something to.
Yes, I get.
You have employees. You got to have employees.
I remember what you're saying, but the same thing is true with now. I thought about this. The guy who came and did this, he spent 4 hours here, 5 hours. He spent a half a day here. Okay, no doubt that someone else is waiting for their service to be put in. So had he have been able to do this in 1 hour, he could have serviced another customer. I don't think that the shortage. I don't think that in that field, just in that field, there's a shortage of service demand for need for one. Right.
Okay.
So if you're not servicing me, you're servicing someone else.
Right.
I don't think that he'll get done with everything. Day off. He won't reach that point,
right?
Because there's too many people populated that have services, and it's constantly there's a brownout, there's an outage, there's a what the fuck, my internet's not working. There's always service. So I'm looking at it like, wow, this was 4-5 hours, and he even called another guy. Hey, Fred, can you come? How far are you? Are you I'm at this other site. I need someone to pull a wire from this side to that side. He made it more complicated. If it was already set, the wires were here. I'm like, dude, the wire's right here. He's like, we don't know where that came from. It's not ours. Spectrum. It was Verizon versus Spectrum. So we got to drill a new hole. I'm just saying. I don't think it would. The ocean.
The ocean.
I don't.
It's a. You know, you deal with that when you got to deal with unions sometimes, and unions don't want to. Like if you have to do like a show at the Javits Center, or whatever, all that maniacalness, like hey, you got to move the carpet up.
Freeman,
you got to move the carpet to put in this electrical outlet.
Freeman,
so the dude shows up to put in the electrical outlet and says, "Oh, the carpet isn't moved."
That's carpet.
Got to have the carpet guy come to lift the carpet so that I can do the.
Listen, this guy Freeman that runs that whole event thing, he's the king. He's the king of this, and he's not only here; he's Vegas. He's everywhere. Anytime there's an event movement, he runs that event union. He's the king of this shit, and he's caked up like a motherfucker. They make all you can't put old carpet there. Can't use carpet. You got to buy new carpet. And that costs her.
And that costs money.
All his Goomba Johnny.
And he gets his.
You want to take from my friends? Here we have this. This is our price. If you want to bring in your own carpet from somewhere else, there's a fee on top of that. And it's double the price.
Right. I'm getting my envelope.
Right. Christmas is good for the Freemans. Man, they got it good. So I think we're gonna get out of. Hey, did you see that blue light that everyone's talking about? You ever seen the blue light in Astoria?
No, but apparently something blew up.
So it was a Con Ed grid, allegedly. That's what was said.
The transformer?
Transformer blew up. The sky lit up like, I saw the photos. I did not see it myself. I was on the train at the same time. Someone looked and said, "Oh, what's that?" And I kind of looked and was like, "Nah, it's nothing. I thought it was a track
light." The track, when that happens, when they spark every once in a while.
Sparks.
That's happened a couple places. They had there was a sewer fire in right in Midtown, right in front of Carmine's.
Yes.
In front of Carmine's. And they actually shut the restaurant down. The restaurant had to shut down.
3 fires that same day.
Really?
3 of them, all on the 44th Street line.
Okay, all right.
It was pretty bugged out that day.
Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, if one gets jacked up, you would figure the whole line would get jacked up. But what. And
he did shut Carmine's down. It's funny because that's why I was at Tony DiNapoli's that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carmine, you like Carmine's?
No.
You don't like Carmine's?
I do like it. I don't like the place. I don't.
The Midtown one.
Yeah.
The Midtown one is I know what you mean. The one uptown is a little bit.
Is it? We went there.
We've been there.
Yeah.
The one uptown is a little bit better. It has a little bit better feel to it. The one in Midtown is kind of.
I mean, it's Midtown. It is what it is. I don't know. I'm just used to like when you have that setting, like that woody setting, restaurant-y setting. It's more neighborhood friendly. Like DiNapoli's. Like I like Tony DiNapoli's because you can hang out. The bar is in the front.
The bar's in the front.
I don't like theirs off to the left, and you don't feel right at their bar. See, like I'm using DiNapoli's only for an example. DiNapoli's bar is kind of like if you're at the bar, you're not at the restaurant yet. Carmine's, you're at the bar and people are dining behind you.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I see what you mean.
I don't really like that.
No, I agree. I think there should be two. Yeah, there should be two.
It should be a segue.
Two different creatures. They're two different creatures.
It should be a segue.
You know, the person who is at the bar, the person who eats at the bar.
Right.
I always thought the best service you get is at the bar.
Yeah, man.
You always get the best service at the bar.
Sure do, man. Makes me thirsty. Pop overs. All right, party people. I think we're gonna get out of here.
That's it for 2018, man.
That is it, man. 2018.
What are you doing? Are you doing anything for New Year's?
Nah, we normally just chill.
That's what we're gonna do.
We go to the midnight service, watch night service at our church, and then typically wherever someone is, hey, we guys are here. You're gonna come by. We may go to the Rodens' house. My daughter's boyfriend. Plays on the team. Might go over their place in Freeport and hang out with them.
Okay.
They invited us over, so we might do that. Who knows, man? You know, figure out where it is. But we'll bring in the New Year's somehow, some way.
I think I'm gonna be asleep.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be asleep. It's gonna be takeout and some liquor. We're gonna put Miles to bed, and maybe open up a bottle and go to sleep.
Thanks for the bullet. I've been bulleting myself to sleep every night.
Delicious, isn't it?
It's great whiskey.
Isn't it?
It's pretty good.
Just beautiful. Nice and smooth.
It is good. I actually had it last night with I doused it in my Sprite. It was like, this Sprite seems a little clear.
That's bourbon and, yeah.
Bourbon it up. All right, party people, we are getting out of here. Two Pros Podcast.
Enjoy your New Year's. Please be safe. Dot.
Peace.
We'll catch you next year.
Bye.
I love you all.
Don't forget to write.
I love you all.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, and send us some comments and send us some suggestions as to what you want us to do for this podcast. We're going to be doing some changes. Hey, give us some suggestions. Hit us up, man.
We love you guys. Peace.